Hey there everyone, it's Supersonic Boom. It's been a while, but today I'm back with a new review on Nintendo.
Hey! Hey, what the heck are you doing? Where were you, man? It's been like 2 years. 2 years! Tails is dead, man! He's not dead. But what was so important? Did he find love? Were you building parents for orphans? Did he do at least one thing that made you a better person in the eyes of society? Well, crap you, man.
Hey everyone, it's Supersonic Boom, and it has been a long time, but today I'm back with a new review on Nintendo's latest wave of Amiibo figures. We'll be taking a look at Wave 6A of the Smash Bros. Series, which includes Olimar, Zero Suit Samus, Bowser Jr., Ganondorf, and Dr. Mario. First off, we'll see how the figures look displayed inside their boxes. Each of the figures comes in the wonderfully designed Amiibo packaging with the character's artwork and name on the front, and a picture of them in action on the back. All in all, the figures look great in their boxes, whether it's for display or for building giant walls like I do. Next, we'll take a look at the individual sculpts and paint jobs of the figures, starting with Captain Olimar. Overall, I think that Olimar looks really great, and he's probably my favorite of this particular wave. The colors and sculpt are both highly accurate to his official game art, with nice detailing on his uniform, his backpack, his head, and the bottom of his shoes. Of course, this is a tiny $13 figure, so there are a couple of things on the sculpt that differ from the artwork, probably for manufacturing reasons. I personally don't mind a bit, but you should know that they're present just in case it's something that bothers you. To start with, the Pikmin's arms and hands are a little bit more chubby than their official artwork, probably so they don't snap off when you touch them. Olimar's antenna is a tad bit thicker too, most likely for the same reason. The only other areas in which Olimar differs from his artwork in any significant way are that his whistle is simplified and that his nose and helmet have production seams on them, with the helmet seam being particularly noticeable. Like I said, these details don't bother me on Olimar, but I know that there have been people who were upset by things such as seams in the past, particularly on the Kirby and Jigglypuff amiibos, on which the seams admittedly looked pretty bad. So I'll be sure to include anything of that nature that catches my eye just in case it's something that people want to know. Next up is Zero Suit Samus, who is probably my least favorite of the bunch. The general pose and sculpt of the figure are pretty on point, and it has nice spacing and detail on the face, even going as far as to include Samus's beauty mark. However, that's about where my praises end. The blues of Samus's suit are mostly spot on, but her other colors can be kind of muddy and inaccurate looking, primarily on her gun and rocket heels. In Samus's character artwork, her paralyzer is a different color than her suit, but here, the gun and the hand are molded out of the same piece of plastic, so the grip is the wrong color, and the rest of the gun is almost the exact same shade as Samus's hand and arm. The color on Samus's rocket shoes is also a lot more muddy than in the artwork, and the detail on the bottom is lacking as well. On the head, there's a little bit of color missing from Samus's mouth, as well as a shade of yellow used for her hair that's pretty different from the blonde used in the artwork and the games. The hair is also thicker in some areas than the artwork, but that's understandable since smaller pieces would break off more easily. Samus's support beam is a semi-opaque white, but in order to hold the figure sturdily, it obscures a lot of the back, meaning that if you want to display your Samus, you can't really do so from all angles. While there's nothing really too terribly awful about Zero Suit, I do wish that she had more accurate paint in a lot of areas. On a more positive note, let's move on to Bowser Jr. The colors on both Jr. and his clown car are both spot on, and I really love the detail they put into both his shell and his bib. The sculpt is great too, with a lot of nice smaller details kept in. The only area I saw where paint could be a minor issue was on the eyebrows, which have just a tiny bit of misspray. There are also some small but pretty well hidden seams around Jr.'s head and in a few other areas, but the only ones that stand out at all are around the clown car and on his left hand. There are just a few simplifications to this amiibo, those being slightly less detailed bib ties, and Jr.'s hair getting thickened and moved down a tad, once again probably to prevent breakage. One more thing to note is that when inspected up close, Jr.'s body does not extend all the way down into the clown car, but instead stops a bit of the way in. Overall, this amiibo is what I feel to be a great representation of the character, with nice color and paint and a spot-on sculpt. Now we have Ganondorf, who is one of the best looking amiibo that I've seen. The amount of detail on this guy is insane, and the paintwork holds up very well even up close. The sculpt is great, the proportions are great, and the lack of pretty much any noticeable seams is also great. The only areas that have been even remotely simplified are a little bit around the head and hair, the waist, and then fairly noticeably around the upper chest area and the bottom of the cape. The paint on his chest is a tad bit messy too, and I feel like all of the gold accents on the character were just a smidge more silver in the artwork. Overall, Ganon Places is one of my favorite amiibo of all time, with a large amount of detail, nice paint, and a great looking sculpt. The final amiibo we'll be taking a look at today is Dr. Mario. This is another fantastic one, and I don't see why it shouldn't be, since Dr. Mario has a rather simple design in comparison to the rest of these characters. The details here are super accurate, with small buttons and ruffles on the coat, correctly positioned eyes and facial features, and a stethoscope that continues onto the back of the figure. There are small but well-hidden seams in quite a few places on Dr. Mario, but the only ones that are visible without really hunting for them are where the arms connect to the body. There can also be a small amount of paint error around the mustache, the bottoms of the pants, and Mario's chest area. Finally, I guess it's worth noting that Dr. Mario's head mirror does not have the small hole in the center that can be found in the artwork in the games. All in all, this is another great one, and probably the most accurately represented Amiibo out of this bunch. There's one last thing to go over. Each of the Amiibo I've discussed today is compatible with Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. You can scan them into the game, level them up, and then fight them against each other, yourself, or your friends. When you're done, you can save your Amiibo's experience onto its base and take it with you wherever you want. These guys are also compatible with other games, and you can see an up-to-date list of what those games are by visiting the link I've included in the description. Well everyone, I think that about wraps it up. Thanks for watching my review. I hope you found it informative, and please let me know in the comments which wave of Smash Bros. Amiibo you'd like to see reviewed next. I'm gonna try and do them all. Until then, have a great one.